So we brought up the Dragon, George Jackson.
Yes, sir.
Just for the audience here, I want you to take us back, and can you talk about who George Jackson is, and also how he and his comrades tie into the founding of Black August?
Right, right. Well, George Jackson was an individual that came from Chicago, because a lot of people don't even know. I noticed over the last couple of years, people don't even know where George Jackson came from. But he was born in Chicago. He came from Chicago at a young age. His family moved from Chicago to the West Coast. And like so many of our brothers and our great leaders and just great organizers in revolutionary period, he was an individual that started off in criminality. We got to put it out there, because this is where transformation come from in a lot of revolutionaries. A lot of revolutionaries come from street politics. They come from street organizations and criminal activities. George Jackson was one of those individuals. When his family moved to California, they was like every other new African family in this country. They were struggling. They was in poverty and things of that nature. And so George Jackson was captured in a criminal activity. He was arrested for a $70 gas station robbery with another individual. And this was like in the late 50s, going into like the 60s, when he was captured. And once George Jackson got behind those walls, he still dabbled in criminal activity for a while, but then he met individuals like James Carr. He met individuals like Big Jake and other individuals who were already a part of a political organization that was coming into form at that time. They were known as the Black Guerrillas at first. They was just guerrillas at first. And James Carr, W.L. Nolan, the most important figure to George Jackson's story is a guy by the name of W.L. Nolan, a great brother, a revolutionary brother, who actually we deem as the father of the revolutionary movement in prison, because it started with W.L. Nolan. W.L. Nolan was one of those first individuals who transformed himself inside California prisons. And this brother was heavily into revolutionary politics at the time. And George Jackson became influenced by W.L. Nolan, James Carr, and Big Jake, and these individuals who were already a part of an organization that was the Black Guerrillas. It wasn't the Black Guerrilla family yet. They was just going by the guerrillas at that point in time. So this intrigued George Jackson. He started hanging with James Carr and W.L. Nolan. So up until this time, he's being politicized at this time. George Jackson is getting heavily politicized by James Carr, by W.L. Nolan.